How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, it's the Game Week 13 preview. As I usually do over on my Twitter at Dayvy FPL, I asked you guys for your questions and talking points about the upcoming game week, and you delivered yet again. We've got various talking points to go over, from should you be transferring your Man City players out, should you be benching your Chelsea players, and we're even going to be taking a look at that Liverpool blank in Game Week 18 and how to hopefully address it. So without further ado, let's get into the preview. We have had our first sponsorship on the Dayvy FPL channel, so thanks a lot to OneFootball. OneFootball is a footballing app that gives you live notifications of the games that you're following, so it makes the perfect FPL companion app, and I've been using it for a couple of years now, and that's why I was happy to do a sponsorship with them as I use the product. So down below there's a link for all you need to know about OneFootball. You can go download the app on iOS or Android. It's completely free, so no commission or anything here, so you don't have to worry about that, but I use it, so should you. So just a quick reminder, as I am recording this video on Monday night, the international break has reached its conclusion for most countries, but there are some fixtures that are still happening tonight and tomorrow night, so just keep your eyes on that. The reason I'm just reminding you extra hard here is that we have seen the likes of players like Salah and Robertson pulling out from international break, and we kind of still have to monitor that situation and what's going to be happening, so please pay attention to the press conferences coming up probably about Thursday and Friday afternoons, where most club managers should kind of address these injuries, and then we can take our transfers from then. If you have used your transfer, no worries, you can always just bench those players, but if you do still have your transfers, I would highly recommend maybe holding on to them until we do have news about these very highly owned and very important players. So please keep an eye on your players for injuries, and otherwise there's not much to the international break left over. The first talking point, and probably one of the most highly requested, is this whole Game Week 14 blank for Liverpool, and we have some big clubs playing against each other like Man City versus Leicester and Spurs versus Chelsea. So what to do for this and how am I personally approaching it? So for Game Week 18, I'm probably going to be using my wildcard, to be honest. That's the strategy that I've kind of put into place. I'll be wildcarding at the end of Game Week 17. So Game Week 18, I'll have my new squad, and then for Game Week 19 as well, I'm banking a transfer. In my mind, this is the plan I go through. Obviously FPL is very kind of exaggerated, and we don't really know what's going to be happening in the future, so this is just kind of what I'm going to be doing. So in Game Week 18 I will have no Liverpool players, and then I'm continuing that kind of trend in that Leicester fixture, and I won't have Liverpool players as well. I'll be looking to bank my transfer, as I said, in Game Week 19, so that I'll be able to bring those Liverpool players back for their Wolves home fixture. If you don't have your wild card, I don't know if this is worth the free hit. I think that you're going to have enough adequate time and hopefully maybe bank 2 transfers leading up to Game Week 18, where you can maybe just transfer out Mo Salah or Sadio Mane to a cheaper option, just bench the defenders and then bring them back in when Liverpool's fixtures kind of get a little bit better. As I said, the free hit, I would save it for maybe later on in the season, where we're going to be having some blank game weeks with that FA Cup and those Carling Cup fixtures, and I think that that's a better use of the chip. If you want to kind of plan for this game week, you can. It makes it a little bit difficult that Liverpool's fixtures are quite nice leading up to it, but afterwards they have 1 or 2 iffy fixtures, but as well they also have some great fixtures, so you can also just bench your Liverpool players. In terms of the other big clubs here, Man City, Leicester, Spurs and Chelsea, it is a tough game week, and this is probably going to be one of those game weeks like the one we had with Liverpool against Man City, where we just kind of had a low scoring average here. I think the Leicester and Man City game should probably be quite tight, but the Spurs Chelsea one, for all we know, could be an absolute goal fest, as both these sides right now on current form don't look the best defensively, and kind of attack is their only outlet. So as I said, we got to kind of watch these games upcoming to Game Week 18. I don't think we can judge them right now, but how it's looking right now for my personal team is that we do use that wild card in Game Week 18. So the watch list for upcoming Game Week 13, we have 2 occurrences from the Game Week 12 preview. Raul Jimenez and Maddison there. They have risen in price, so if you did bring them in last preview, you probably will be smiling right now as those price rises. But we do have a newcomer with Trent Alexander-Arnold. We're going to be talking about Trent later on in the video, so I'm not going to give too much attention to him. But with Raul Jimenez, we had a lot of questions in the Twitter comments about him. The Mexican striker just scored on international duty as well, so it looks like he's in red hot form, and Wolves have the fixtures to back them up. He's played basically every single minute for Wolves, so shows that he's rotation proof. I know with the Europa League we thought that might affect his minutes, but that's not been the case, and he definitely looks like a good option. I think it kind of leads in to the formation switch that a lot of managers are making, where they're going 3 up top and then dropping a midfielder or a defender. Definitely looks that way with the Wolves striker performing quite well, so if you do not have him in your squad, I'd be looking at maybe bringing him in, but it is quite a hard price for me personally, as I do have the likes of Greenwood, so I would have to kind of find some budget in midfield or defense to upgrade him. With James Maddison, kind of an easier switch, as you can downgrade Sterling to him even, or maybe even the likes of Mo Salah if he is injured. But with James Maddison, he did have a little bit of a knock in the international break, so just monitor that situation, but he should be raring to go for the next fixture. And Leicester do have some lovely fixtures, as I've been kind of promoting and preaching over the past couple game weeks preview. But James Maddison looks like he's in great form as well. Managed 4 goals, 3 assists, and he's played basically every minute. He's had a little bit of minutes regressed because of injury, but hopefully he's back and raring to go for the next one. But he looks like the extra good complement to Jamie Vardy. I think that I would opt for Jamie Vardy over James Maddison, but if you want to kind of double up on that Leicester attack, James Maddison is the way to go. So with benching Chelsea assets, this is just for this fixture. As you can see on screen, they are versing Manchester City at the Etihad. Quite a tough game on paper, so you might be thinking about benching your Chelsea assets. Right off the bat, if you have a Chelsea defender, I would bench them. That's probably my only definite benching of these two teams, is a Chelsea defender. I just think that both teams are going to be scoring in this one, so you could even opt for benching your Man City option because of just the rotation that they've been having there. But I do think that Man City are the favourites for this one, but I do think that both teams will score. So I'm backing Chelsea to get on the end of a goal, and hopefully Abraham, Pulisic or Mason Mount are the receiver of the goal and assist. My team personally, I do have Tammy Abraham and Mason Mount, so kind of hoping for them to get on the end of things. And my personal team, I definitely will be playing them for this upcoming game week. Reason being, Manchester City have conceded 5 goals against the likes of Liverpool and Spurs. They haven't played much tougher opposition than that, so you can look at it like the top 6 opposition, they've conceded 5 and 2, which is not that great. So Chelsea definitely should be scoring in this one. And as I said, you got to be backing those 3 attacking options to get on the end of some attacking returns. So I don't think you should be benching your Man City attackers, but I definitely do think a Chelsea defender should be benched for this one, as I don't see Man City not scoring. Now, drop Man City assets. Should you be transferring the big boys out, the likes of Raheem Sterling, Sergio Aguero? If you do have the likes of Bernardo Silva or David Silva, so David Silva I would transfer out. I just think that Man City midfield, it's got a lot of rotation in, and the midfield is not performing as we expect. So I think David Silva is on his way out if he is in your FPL squad. But the likes of Sterling and De Bruyne are a keep for me. You got to look at these next couple fixtures, or the reason I've only done the next couple is most people were thinking about transferring them out for game week 13 and then maybe bringing them back game week 17. So digressing every single game, we have Chelsea at home, Newcastle away, Burnley away, United at home and Arsenal away. So the only tough fixture I think there from an attacking point of view is probably Man United at home. I do think that Man United usually set up quite well against the big boys, and I think they're going to be parking the bus a little bit in this one. The likes of Newcastle and Burnley, 2 stereotypical teams who usually are quite good defensively, but have shown this FPL season that they're not that great. They have been conceding a lot of goals, and I do expect Man City to kind of thump them. So I will be keeping for these next couple of fixtures. I think the Chelsea at home, as I said, they will be scoring in that one. And then the Arsenal away kind of speaks for itself. Leicester at home is going to be a tough fixture, but I do think that that's worth the hold because afterwards they go on a nice run of green fixtures. So I don't think Man City options are worth dropping right now. Maybe if they don't hit the form against Chelsea and then maybe Newcastle, you could look at transferring them out. But right now, I just don't think I'll be moving them out and risking that transfer on these funds. I think a lot of us are just considering the move because of how much funds they do hold, and our eyes kind of light up when we look at the possibilities of our FPL squads without the likes of Raheem Sterling or Sergio Aguero. But I just don't think that's the case in this one. So the next question, the Liverpool triple up. I'm basically assuming right now that you do own a Liverpool attacker and a Liverpool defender, and then it's kind of the option whether to double up on their defense or double up on their attack. For me personally, it's going to be a double up on defense. The reason being, I think if you're going to be doubling up on their attack, more likely it's going to be Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah, and that comes in, both players are on that 12 million mark, 24 million of your budget gone right there, and I just think that closes off a lot of doors for your other positions. So for me, the defense provides more value. I don't think that the Liverpool defense has been that great recently, but I do think when you look at these next couple of fixtures, they should be keeping a couple clean sheets, and you just have to watch Liverpool to realize how attacking Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold are. I think they're going to be getting masses of assists and maybe even the cheeky goal here and there. So I do think, for me personally, it is a Liverpool double up in defense. Now the next question was Matt Ryan / Sheffield United defense. I'm going to be kind of addressing these two talking points as they relate to kind of the same thing. So the one question was Matt Ryan, what to do with him. Matt Ryan with Brighton have very tough fixtures coming up. So I do think if you do have a free transfer or you don't have any fires to put out in other positions, I would look at transferring him out. And the player to bring in is Henderson from Sheffield United. So right now, don't do that move this game week, as he is banned from playing Manchester United as it is his parent club. But after that, you can just see the fixtures on the screen there. They have lovely fixtures, and how good Sheffield United have been defensively this season. I can see massive amounts of clean sheet points there, and if you do own the likes of Lundstrom, you're already enjoying those points from that out of position midfielder, so I would look at him as well. Other options you could look for are Baldock, and you could even stretch the budget a little bit to Stevens, who apparently is playing out of position as well. So I definitely do think the Sheffield United defense is worth the double up, especially if it is for the likes of Henderson in goal, as he should be picking up a lot of clean sheet points as well. But I do see the green light with those green fixtures for Sheffield United. With Matt Ryan, I probably won't be making that transfer this game week, but I do think from the next couple game weeks you should be looking at it, just due to Henderson not being able to play against United. So the last kind of talking point is going to be Manchester United assets. So United have some nice fixtures coming up. I know that Spurs fixture at home doesn't look that appetizing, but with this form that Spurs have been in, I think that could be quite a good game. And then Man City away is obviously a very tough fixture, but we kind of all have to deal with that, and no matter what team we bring in, they're going to be playing Man City probably once every 6 months. So with Manchester United assets, the defense should be quite good for these next upcoming fixture. I think against Sheffield United and against Aston Villa, those are probably two clean sheets that United defenders should be getting. I know they haven't been getting that many clean sheets recently, but they are losing it kind of late on. So I think a little bit of concentration lacking there, and maybe a little bit of sloppiness, but I do think they'll be showing that up. And then with the Spurs fixture, that can go anyway, and with the United against City fixture as well, that could go either way. But then after that, they have some nice fixtures again, and they should be getting quite a lot of points. According to their defense, that should be good, but their attack is probably where most of you want to be bringing them in. I do think I favor the attack a little bit over the defense, and the player that I'd be looking at bringing in is Anthony Martial. I know a lot of you have Rashford at the moment, but I just think that Martial is maybe a little bit more value and a little bit of a better player than Rashford at the moment. So Martial would be my option, but you could go for Rashford maybe as a little bit of a differential. I know that Martial is owned by less, but he's probably going to be rising up that ownership rank when he kind of hits the form that he should be hitting. But I do think that United should be paid a little bit of attention. I know a lot of us haven't really been looking at them, but I do expect them to rebound off this kind of poor form that they've had at the start of the season and kind of get into a better position in this December period. So the last talking point is captaincy, and it is quite a tough one for Game Week 13. So I've got my three favorite options here on screen. You could go for a differential, like a lot of people are thinking about Richarlison against Norwich, as that Norwich defense is absolutely terrible. But I've kind of opted for three big name players here that most of you should own, and that kind of, as I said, you could go for a differential if you want to, but these are three well-owned players that I think should be good captaincy options. The first one is Jamie Vardy against Brighton, the man who just can't stop scoring. He's going to be getting a goal against Brighton, I do expect, and I think that Leicester should be winning this game. I do have Matty Ryan in goal, so kind of a little bit of emotions there that I think that hopefully Brighton could keep a clean sheet. You never know, but I do think that Jamie Vardy should be scoring in this game, so should be a good captaincy option. I reckon that he's the safe captaincy option this game week. So if you want to go safe and kind of get guaranteed points, I'd go for Jamie Vardy. If you want to be a little bit more experimental and explosive, I'd go for one of Raheem Sterling or Sadio Mane. You could go for Mo Salah as well. He's just got a little bit of a knock at the moment, so I think that Sadio Mane is probably the standout pick here. They do have Crystal Palace away, which should be a tough fixture, but I think that some people have been overrating that Crystal Palace defense quite a bit, and I do expect Liverpool to score here. I think the game will probably end about 2-0, so you expect Sadio Mane to get on the end of one of those goals. Then with Raheem Sterling against Chelsea, I don't think the Chelsea defense is great at all, and I think that Man City should be pumping Chelsea, especially because they are at home, and then you got to favor Raheem Sterling to get on the end of it. The one thing with Raheem Sterling, which I'm a little bit worried about, is maybe the guaranteed minutes. I don't know if he will be guaranteed to start, but he should be, considering that Man City have to kind of win every single Premier League game now to keep up with the likes of Liverpool. But I do expect Man City to win this one, and therefore Raheem Sterling is probably going to be my captain for Game Week 13. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you're new or have not subscribed yet. Otherwise, the link for OneFootball is down in the description. Go download it. It's a great app. I use it personally, so you can kind of guarantee that it's going to be worthwhile. But otherwise, stay tuned for the team selection coming on later in the game week, and I'm going to be signing off. This has been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.